Hey, what's up? It's Josh, the Florida Kayak Camping Guy, and today I'm going to be talking about 3 reasons why I decided to organize my kayaks and my kayaking gear in the garage here in the way that I did it, and maybe give you some helpful tips and tell you some of the disasters that I've done. Stay tuned. Reason number 1 why I like to stay organized and keep my gear together like this is the time that it takes me to pack up and get ready for a trip, because a lot of my trips are like overnight, multi-day, sometimes longer, and this makes it quicker. I know where everything is when it's time to go and put everything in the back of the truck, just back up to the garage, and I can grab it right off the wall, put it in the back of the truck or whatever it may be, and just hit the road, and it just makes that whole process quicker. I don't know if you've ever had that friend that you plan on doing a trip and they just take forever, they're late to the dock or wherever it may be, the launch. You don't want to be that guy, and neither do I. So I like to be prepared and just have everything ready to go. That's reason number 1. It just makes it way quicker on the load up time and the unload time. When you come back home, you're not just piling stuff in your garage forever. You got a place to dry it out and hang it. So it makes the unpack time even equally quicker, because you know you're definitely tired when you get home. You don't feel like cleaning that gear, I know it. All right, reason number 2 why it's important to stay organized and keep your gear together. I have actually loaded up my truck, put a couple days worth of food and water, everything I needed, kayaks on the roof, all the gear in the back, got to the launch site, and I didn't have my paddles. And that's really a bummer. Luckily at that time my friend Nathan was close by, and he actually brought me 2 paddles, and it saved the trip. But yeah, I have done that. I've never forgot the life jacket, luckily, but I definitely have forgotten my paddles and other things that would have been really easy if I was organized and I just had a place where I could grab stuff off the wall. So yeah, it keeps you from forgetting important gear, important items that you definitely rely on, you need. If you're like me, sometimes you're pretty far from shore and you definitely want to make sure that you didn't forget your life jacket, and that's why you went out without it. You know, that kind of stuff's just super important. Or your bilge pump, just things that make the day go easier. Your wheels, I got down there. But yeah, second reason, super important. Don't forget stuff. Don't be like me. All right, reason number 3 why to stay organized. Keep your gear together. If you're like me, you really rely on that gear when you're out there. Sometimes, depending on the trip, you're really out there, and you want to know that you can rely on that gear. And I got this little saying, because if your gear took care of you while you were out there, then take care of your gear while you're here. And I don't know where that came from. Probably just like hours of paddling for a period of time, and you just spend too much time in your head thinking about things. That's probably where it came from. But nonetheless, take care of that gear when you're home. I one time took a trip in a kayak that I had let sit outside in the rain and the elements for a long period of time, and one of the cables broke for the rudder system, and although it didn't stop the trip, it definitely made it super inconvenient, and zip ties to the rescue on that particular occasion. But yeah, take care of your gear, whether it's the life jackets. Like, for example, you know, I like to really take care of my life jackets. I just got this new Astral the other day, and I want to preserve this thing for a long time. The last one I still have. It's like 5 years old, but I rely on that life jacket. If something goes wrong, I want to know that it's not been sitting inside my kayak stored out in the heat or the extreme cold, or you know, that sort of thing. I want to know that that sucker is going to do its job if that time comes. And if you spend enough time out there, eventually that time may come. You know, hopefully your life doesn't depend on it, but you're probably definitely going to go for a swim at some point, or at least you should plan on it. And you want to know that that PFD that you have is in good shape, or that your paddles. I like to buy these Warner Camino paddles. Camano, I think is how you say it. And I like to take good care of them. I like to make sure that they're hanging properly and they're not getting bent and doing weird stuff. I rely on those too. So I like to take care of that kind of gear and equipment while I'm home. I just think it's super critical, and like I said earlier, that gear takes care of you while you're out there, and that's probably the most important reason. Alright, just going to do a quick rundown of what we got hanging our gear here on the wall. These particular racks are made by Suspends. That's what I keep the loaner paddles. I got some Aquabound loaner paddles there. They hold about 4 comfortably. They work pretty good. Those are made by Suspends. Over here just got the sponges hanging up so we can dry those guys out. And the particular boats I got hanging on the wall are, the very bottom one's going to be a Perception Carolina 12. The middle one, the green one, is going to be a Sirocco 17 made by Current Designs. And the top one is a Wilderness Systems Tarpon 160i sit inside. Yeah, those are my kayaks that I use. The rack system that's holding these orange guys right here are made by Rad Sports, and they've held up really well. I've had these boats on the wall for at least a year now, just like this, and they've held up really well, and they fit my budget. I like Suspends, but the Rad Sports definitely they come through for the win. Over here, I just got my spray skirt hanging up so it can dry after getting it wet. Keep all my ratchet straps just in a mesh bag. Makes load up super easy. They're not as tangled up together. Over here, just got some Suspends racks for doing work on the kayak or washing it off out there in the driveway. And over here, got another rack for the these particular paddles are the Werner Caminos. They're all carbon fiber. I like taking care of those. They're excellent paddles, most excellent. These two paddles right here have close to 1,000 miles in them, but I like storing my stuff and taking good care of it. Keep the flag handy. This is my my newest thing I got. This is my flag from the Kayak Junkies of Central Florida. Tie it on the back of the yak when you're traveling. Super awesome. Down here, got the Astral water shoes. Like to keep those guys nice and dry and stink free after trips. And my wheels are made by Rad Sports. And as you can see, most of this stuff is just wall hanging equipment from the hardware store. With the exception of the kayaks and the paddles, everything else is really inexpensive things that you can get at the hardware store. You can probably get it online. And just got the bilge pump over here hanging, and fits nicely. It keeps everything together, and that's how I roll. Keep those adventures going nice and smooth. Don't forget anything. Take care of your gear and make your load up and unload time 10 times faster. And if anybody has any questions about any of the gear or any of the products that I used here or talked about today, feel free to comment in the section below. And I love talking about kayaking and camping gear just as much as I like doing it. So definitely feel free to ask any questions if you got them.